At 92, Margaret still wakes up before sunrise, slipping on her favorite cardigan before heading to her garden. She swears the secret to her long, healthy life isn't just good habits. It's knowing when her body is speaking to her. Years ago, she noticed something odd, a strange lingering scent, one no one else seemed to notice. She ignored it, assuming it was nothing. But weeks later, a doctor's visit changed everything. Most people don't realize this, but certain smells could be an early warning sign of cancer, and catching them early could mean the difference between life and death. Today, we'll uncover 8 unusual odors that doctors say could signal cancer. And the first one? It's a scent most women mistake for something completely harmless. 1. A sweet, fruity smell that isn't so sweet. Jean never used to think much about smells until one afternoon when she noticed something strange. She had just finished lunch when she caught a sickly sweet, almost fruity scent lingering in the air. At first, she thought it was coming from her cup of tea, but as she sniffed again, she realized something unsettling. The smell was coming from her breath. Jean brushed it off, assuming it was just something she ate. But over the next few weeks, the fruity odor persisted, no matter what she did. It wasn't until she casually mentioned it to her doctor during a routine checkup that she learned the shocking truth. A persistent sweet or fruity smell on the breath can sometimes signal cancer. Certain cancers, particularly lung cancer or gastrointestinal tumors, can alter the body's metabolism, causing the body to release ketones, a byproduct that smells sweet or fruity. Many people mistake it for bad breath or even diabetes, but when combined with other symptoms like weight loss, fatigue, or coughing, it could be a red flag. What should you do? If you notice a persistent sweet or fruity odor on your breath that doesn't go away with brushing, mouthwash, or dietary changes, mention it to your doctor. It's also important to track any other symptoms you may have, such as unexplained weight loss, persistent cough, or digestive issues. Jean later learned that her early detection made all the difference. "If I had ignored it, I don't know where I'd be now," she said. "It wasn't just bad breath. It was my body trying to tell me something." 2. A strong, unpleasant body odor that's not normal. Eleanor had always prided herself on good hygiene. At 88, she still made sure to shower daily and wear her favorite lavender-scented lotion. So when she started noticing a strong, sour body odor, she was confused. At first, she assumed she'd simply forgotten to apply deodorant. But even after extra showers, a change in soap, and wearing fresh clothes every day, the smell lingered. It wasn't just sweat. It was something deeper, something her normal routine couldn't fix. One evening, her daughter Susan gently mentioned it. "Mom, have you changed anything? Your scent seems different." That's when Eleanor knew it wasn't just in her head. Unexplained, strong or sour-smelling body odor can sometimes indicate liver cancer or kidney cancer. The liver and kidneys help filter toxins from the body, but when cancer affects these organs, waste products can build up, leading to changes in body odor. Many women mistake this for normal aging or assume they simply need stronger soap. But if body odor suddenly changes drastically and doesn't improve with hygiene, it could be a sign that something deeper is happening inside. What should you do? If you notice a persistent, unusual odor on your skin, especially if it comes with jaundice, yellowing skin, fatigue, or unexplained weight loss, it's time to see a doctor. A simple blood test or imaging scan can check liver and kidney function. Eleanor's doctor later confirmed she had an issue with her liver, one that, thankfully, was caught early enough to be treated. "I'm grateful my daughter noticed," she said. "I never would have thought body odor could mean something so serious." 3. A rotten or decaying smell. That's hard to place. Marjorie had always loved gardening, the fresh scent of roses, the crisp smell of damp earth. It was part of what made her feel alive. But one day, as she sat outside pruning her flowers, she caught a foul, rotting odor in the air. She assumed it was from the compost bin or an old plant nearby, but as she moved away, the smell followed her. That's when she realized it wasn't coming from the garden. It was coming from her nose. Marjorie thought it was just a sinus issue, but after weeks of persistent rotting, decaying, or foul smells that no one else seemed to notice, she finally visited an ear, nose, and throat specialist. The doctor ordered tests, and the results shocked her. She had early-stage nasal cancer. A persistent foul odor, especially one that seems to come from inside the nose, can be a warning sign of sinus or throat cancer. Tumors in these areas can cause infection-like symptoms, including unexplained nasal discharge, a lingering smell of rot or decay, and even facial pain. Many seniors dismiss this symptom, assuming it's just a sinus infection or allergies. But if the smell lingers for weeks and isn't tied to an obvious source, it's worth getting checked. What should you do? If you notice a persistent rotting or foul odor in your nose that doesn't improve with time, or if you experience symptoms like frequent sinus infections, nosebleeds, or changes in your voice, see an ENT specialist immediately. Marjorie caught her condition early, and today, she's grateful she trusted her instincts. I almost ignored it. I told myself it was nothing, but deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Sometimes, the most unexpected signs are the ones that save us. If your nose picks up a scent that no one else can smell, don't dismiss it. It could be your first warning before something more serious develops. 4. A metallic or blood-like smell that lingers. Helen had always been sensitive to smells. She could detect the faintest hint of lavender in the room, the smell of cookies baking down the hall. But lately, something strange was happening. Everything smelled faintly metallic. At first, she thought it was the kitchen faucet. Maybe rust in the pipes? But then she noticed it wasn't just the water. It was her breath, her hands, even her pillowcase. It was subtle, almost like the scent of old pennies or blood, lingering in the background. Helen ignored it for weeks, assuming it was nothing. But one morning, as she brushed her teeth, she noticed a small streak of blood in her saliva. That's when she knew something wasn't right. A persistent metallic smell or taste, especially when combined with bleeding gums, sores in the mouth, or difficulty swallowing, can be an early warning sign of oral or esophageal cancer. These cancers often cause microscopic bleeding in the mouth or throat, leading to a subtle, metallic odor or taste that lingers. Many women brush this off as gum disease, an iron deficiency, or simply one of those things. But if the metallic smell doesn't go away, it's time to take action. What should you do? If you notice a persistent metallic smell or taste, especially if it's paired with unexplained bleeding, persistent throat irritation, or voice changes, schedule a checkup with your doctor or dentist. A simple oral screening can catch potential issues early. Helen later learned she had a precancerous condition in her esophagus, but because she acted quickly, she was able to treat it before it turned into something worse. "If I had ignored that strange smell," she said, "I might not be here today." Your nose knows more than you think. If something smells off, trust your instincts. 5. An ammonia-like smell that won't go away. Mildred had always been meticulous about her home. Even at 91, she kept her sheets crisp, her floors spotless, and her clothes fresh. So when she started noticing a strange ammonia-like smell on her clothes, she assumed it was the detergent. She switched brands. The smell stayed. She tried using an extra fabric softener. The smell stayed. And then one day, she noticed something unsettling. The odor was strongest in the bathroom, right after she used it. What Mildred didn't know was that a strong ammonia-like smell in urine can be an early warning sign of kidney or bladder cancer. The kidneys filter toxins from the blood, but when they aren't functioning properly, waste products can build up, leading to changes in the smell of urine. Many seniors dismiss this symptom, assuming it's due to dehydration, medication, or diet. But if the odor is strong, persistent, and paired with cloudy urine, frequent urination, or lower back pain, it's time to pay attention. What should you do? If you notice an unexplained ammonia-like smell in your urine, start by increasing your water intake to see if dehydration is the culprit. If the smell remains, or if you experience other symptoms like pain, burning, or blood in the urine, schedule a urinalysis and kidney function test with your doctor. Mildred's daughter later admitted, "She mentioned the smell, but we thought it was just aging. I wish we had looked into it sooner." Now she tells every senior woman she knows, if your urine smells different, don't ignore it. It could be your body's way of warning you before something serious develops. 6. A musty, mold-like smell on the skin. Eleanor had always loved the smell of fresh air. She took pride in keeping her home bright, open, and filled with fresh flowers. So when she started noticing a musty, mold-like odor in her bedroom, she assumed it was the laundry. She rewashed everything. The smell stayed. She opened windows, used air fresheners, and even checked for mold in the walls. But one evening, as she changed into her nightgown, it hit her. The smell wasn't in the room. It was coming from her skin. A musty, moldy, or damp smell on the skin can sometimes indicate skin cancer or fungal infections linked to cancer. Certain cancers can cause changes in sweat production or skin cell turnover, leading to a distinct, musty odor that lingers even after bathing. Most women assume it's just sweat, aging skin, or a reaction to soap. But if the smell doesn't go away despite good hygiene, it could be a sign that the body is struggling to filter out toxins properly. What should you do? If you notice a persistent, musty odor on your skin, especially in areas that don't normally sweat much, examine your skin for any unusual spots, changes in texture, or unexplained rashes. If anything looks suspicious, see a dermatologist for a skin check. Eleanor later learned she had early-stage melanoma, a type of skin cancer that, if left untreated, could have spread quickly. Because she caught it early, she was able to get treatment before it became life-threatening. "If I hadn't paid attention to that smell, I never would have checked my skin," she said. Sometimes it's the smallest changes that matter the most. 7. A foul-smelling vaginal odor that won't go away. Margaret had always been mindful of her health. At 90, she still went for her yearly checkups, stayed active, and took pride in her hygiene. So when she noticed a strong, fishy, or rotten smell that lingered despite showers and fresh clothing, she grew concerned. At first, she thought it was just part of aging. "Things change," she told herself. "Maybe this is normal." But over the next few weeks, the odor became stronger. It wasn't just after exercising or first thing in the morning. It was there all the time. Margaret finally mentioned it to her doctor, and after a few tests, she received a shocking diagnosis. It was cervical cancer. Many women assume that a persistent vaginal odor is simply due to menopause, poor hygiene, or infections like bacterial vaginosis. While these are common causes, an unusual, persistent, or worsening smell that doesn't respond to treatments can sometimes be a warning sign of cervical, ovarian, or uterine cancer. These cancers can cause abnormal tissue growth, infections, or necrotic cells, which produce a foul-smelling discharge. What should you do? If you notice a new or worsening vaginal odor, especially if it's paired with unusual discharge, pelvic pain, or irregular bleeding. See a gynecologist immediately. A simple pelvic exam or pap smear can detect early warning signs. Margaret's early diagnosis saved her life. "If I had waited, I might not be here today," she said. "Don't let embarrassment or assumptions keep you from checking. Your body is trying to tell you something. Listen." 8. A burnt, smoky smell that no one else notices. Florence sat at her kitchen table enjoying her morning coffee when she caught a whiff of something burning. She quickly looked around. The stove was off. There were no candles lit. Nothing in the house was smoking. She got up, checked each room, and even stepped outside to see if a neighbor's fireplace was on. But the burnt smell followed her. The strangest part? No one else could smell it. Over the next few weeks, the smoky, burnt odor returned at random moments, sometimes faint, other times strong. Florence dismissed it as her senses playing tricks on her. But when she casually mentioned it to her doctor, he ordered further tests. The result? A brain scan revealed an early-stage tumor in her frontal lobe. A persistent burnt or smoky smell that no one else can detect is a condition called phantosmia, or olfactory hallucinations. While it can sometimes be caused by sinus infections or migraines, in some cases, it's linked to brain tumors, particularly in areas that affect sensory processing. Many women write off these phantom smells as their imagination, but if they keep happening over time, it's worth getting checked. What should you do? If you repeatedly smell something burnt, smoky, or chemical-like that no one else notices, mention it to your doctor. A neurological exam or brain scan can rule out serious conditions. Florence's doctor told her that early detection saved her from more severe complications. "I thought I was imagining things," she said, "but that smell, it saved my life." Your body has an incredible way of speaking to you. Now you know how to listen. If something smells off, don't ignore it. Early detection saves lives. Have you ever noticed an unusual smell that turned out to be something serious? Let's talk in the comments. And if this helped you, share it. You might save a life. Stay strong, stay aware, and stick around. Next time, we're diving into hidden symptoms your doctor might not tell you about.